welcome back to Moby's Kitchen. And as you can see, we've got some new swag. We've been wearing the new apron, got some new hats here. They're not for sale or anything. We're not that big yet, but maybe one day we'll create these, and you guys tell us in the comments if you think we should. But tonight we're gonna make, if you haven't seen That Dude Can Cook, his YouTube channel, it's amazing. He has some great recipes. The guy knows his stuff. And I did not like Brussels sprouts that much until I watched his recipe and made his version of Brussels sprouts. And it's super simple. It's like 3 ingredients and that's it. And then you can actually get away with doing just 2 ingredients and that's it. So that's what we're gonna make tonight. We're gonna be making a steak dinner, but I just wanted to pull this out and do this as a separate recipe because you could put this as a side to pretty much any dish that you make. So let's take a look at our ingredients tonight. We have Brussels sprouts. Now these are already halved. If you buy them whole, you're gonna wanna cut these in half and maybe cut just a little bit of that woody end off. Not all the way through though, because you want it to hold together. If you cut all the way through, it's gonna fall apart and be little leaves in the water. So you want it to hold together. We don't have to even do that tonight. We've got Brussels sprout halves. We've got some kosher salt, and we're gonna finish it with one of my favorites, Mike's Hot Honey. All right, so let's get started. Okay, the first step is to get some water boiling on the stove in a nice big pot. So that's what we're gonna do, and then we gotta wait till that water's boiling to put in all of our Brussels sprouts. Okay, so we're over at the stove. We've got our water boiling, and we're going to pour in our Brussels sprout halves. Careful with splashing here. And then we're gonna take about a tablespoon and a half or so of kosher salt. Put that in there and salt that water. Stir it around a little bit. And we're gonna boil these for about 6 minutes. And then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we've hit about 6 minutes of boiling our Brussels sprouts here. So it's time to strain these off. So we're gonna give that a few minutes to kind of cool off before we start working with it again, and I'll be right back with you. All right, make sure to get your oven preheated to, I'm gonna do this recipe on convection. So if you have the convection setting, you wanna put this on 400 degrees Fahrenheit, the full convection setting. If you don't have a convection oven, you can do regular bake at 425. Okay, so our Brussels sprouts have been kind of cooling off here for about 3 or 4 minutes. We're gonna take a baking pan here, give it a little bit of avocado oil. And I'm sorry, I should have showed you this at the beginning. We need to use some avocado oil or olive oil works here. Any good neutral oil. So we're gonna take that, put a little bit on the baking pan, and then pour our Brussels sprouts. Be careful because they're hot. I'm wearing gloves. It kind of helps a little bit, but anyway. And if there's some loose straggler leaves here, that's totally fine. You can just pick them out. And if a few stay on there, that's totally fine too. Don't worry about it. We're trying to make this simple. Okay, then we're gonna put a little bit of avocado oil over the top. Maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons there. And then we're gonna add some more kosher salt. We're probably gonna do about another tablespoon here of kosher salt. These can handle a lot of salt, but remember we did salt that water, so a little bit of that penetrated the flesh and it's inside, and this is more for the outside. So we'll put that on there and then kind of mix it up. All right, gentle with it. We don't want them to get too crazy here. Like I said, if you find these little pieces, you can eat them. They're delicious. But you can throw some of them away too. All right, so next, we're gonna wanna get these on the baking pan, cut side down, and about, I don't know, what would you say, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch apart here. Just so that when we put them in the oven, they get some nice contact here. And remember, if we get down to it and there's too many, we can, don't overcrowd your pan. It's better to cook them in batches if that's the case. Okay, we're over at the oven and we're gonna get our Brussels sprouts in there. Remember, this is a 400 degree convection setting. If you don't have convection, have it on 425 on regular bake. We're gonna put these about the middle shelf here. All right, and we're gonna give that about 25 minutes or so, and we're gonna check on it. We want a nice little little char on the top, and that will tell us when it's ready. Okay, so our Brussels sprouts have been in the 400-degree convection oven here for about 25 minutes. It's time to take them out because I can tell by the way they look here. So be careful, kind of burp the oven here, let the heat come out. You can tell they're done because most of them have some char on the top. The middle always cooks a little bit slower, but these outer edge ones are good. That means it's nice and golden brown underneath. So we're gonna let these rest for a good 3-4 minutes before we start messing with them, and then we'll be right back with you. All right, so our Brussels sprouts are done, and they look beautiful. They just need one more touch with some Mike's Hot Honey. But first, let's kind of peel them up and see what they look like on the other side. Oh yeah, look at that. Sort of caramelized, golden brown, salty goodness. I'm gonna try one without the hot honey, and it should be delicious. You can eat them just like this. They're just soft on the inside and crispy on the outside. So good. Now, let's get them up here. Some of these on the end definitely got a little more crispy, but that's totally okay. That little variety is good, in my opinion. Let's get them all together. I know Bobby loves this recipe.
These are so good.
That dude can cook, knows his stuff, and there's no way to reinvent the Brussels sprouts. Now let's add some of our hot honey on there. You can put as much as you like. You can do regular honey if you don't like the spice. And you could do bacon with this. You could do pancetta with it. You can get really creative. Whatever you're feeling. Maple syrup.
Even Kimber wants some.
Even Kimber wants some. I guarantee she'd like these. And give it a little toss here. Okay, now let's try one with the Mike's Hot Honey. Let's go for this one on the outside. Let's try one of these like really crispy ones. I think it's even better with the hot honey. It adds a little spice, that sweetness with the saltiness of the Brussels sprout. I'm telling you guys, make this at home. You saw it's super easy. It goes with anything. You can do this with salmon, steak, chicken. You could even have this on the side with pasta if you want to have a vegetable. Make them at home, super easy. Thanks to That Dude Can Cook for putting this out there. It's delicious. Thanks for stopping by Moby's Kitchen. Please like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think of this recipe and some of the other ideas you might have for the channel, because we're gonna just keep growing with you. We can't say enough how much we appreciate you subscribing and liking our videos. Have a great night.